What up? Wall Street Mania. What up? That's right. Gear. If y'all like this, we might put this item in the item shop. It's Sunday, and it's another day, another time to get y'all cocoa, y'all food, get your grandma, your grandpa, get on the couch, because y'all got me, Darius. Wall Street Mania time to learn, make some money. I was debating on what video I should drop, but I felt this was appropriate. The backtesting video, and to show you guys how to make some money with supply and demand. Now, again, guys, these were done by me. Unlike most traders you find that are fake backtesting, these are all mine with the date and time so you guys can go back to check it. And we're going to go through a few. But I did 80 trades where 51 of them won, 29 of them lost. Shows you how much was put up each and every time. Each test was done with 2 contracts, only 2 contracts. And as you can see, there was a total profit of $20,900 off backtesting, showing you guys even when you win and lose, stick to a strategy, because trust me when I say you're most likely going to be winning overall than you are losing, but you won't know if you're not backtesting and checking your data. So let's jump into this. All right, guys, let's show you the strategy on how this works before we go into the actual real examples of it and the real results. So when we are on an uptrend and price is above our VWAP, which is our indicator will show, we want a break of structure. This right here is a break of structure. How do I know it's a break of structure? Because it broke a most recent high. Once you get a break of structure, we want price to return back to the last candle that caused the break of structure. We set that out as a zone. Once it taps into our zone, we enter on the break of the candle for a 1-to-1 trade. That's our strategy, right? So let's kind of start more fresh. Let's see. Let's check out. Trying to see a nice one. All right, cool. So we got this one right here at 745. And I'm going to show you guys kind of a newer way that I do it. And it's more so based on a 1-to-2 candle break of structure. So I'll show you guys. All right, so here we go. We are on May 2nd. And how I'm doing this particular strategy is more based on a 1-to-2 candle break and return. So 1, we are above our VWAP. Second thing, I actually started using the EMA as well. EMA on a 20 or 20 EMA. So what this is going to do is this is going to just let me know about my bias on the direction above or below is where I'm trading. The EMA 20 is more of a trend. Let me know that this thing is currently trending up. So I'm okay to ride this all the way out. So let's show this. Again, we get a break of structure, and it's going to look a little different just because I am using a 1-to-2 candles. But if we went down to a 1 minute, you would clearly see it. So we get our red candle and we get our break of structure. This right here would be the break of structure for me. Once we return back to this zone, only thing I needed to do within this zone is to have a wick. I don't want it to close. I don't need a body in it. I need a wick. So once it returns back to the zone, the break of this candle is where we get in for, which would be top right here. And then we ride this out to a 1-to-1. The reason why I know it's a 1-to-1 because we have it here. And if we're using 2 contracts, 10.50 mean we just made $1,050 on this trade right here, a 1-to-1 trade. All right, guys. So now let's pick another date. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Let's say 1. Cool. Let's use this. April 22nd. Let's see, April 22nd at 9:35. Now, another thing, guys, I want to kind of go over with you guys too is this. When you get a break of structure, okay, these leave behind supply and demand zones. Whenever you guys are getting into the trade, it's always important to kind of look to your left for more recent. I like to look for at least within a couple minutes, an hour or two, for any nearby clean, untouched supply and demand zones, because a lot of times you will have price to say, hey, I'm gonna get in for a buy right here, But if I'm running into a demand zone, what usually happens is it'll tap that and it'll reverse off of it. So you always want to be careful and aware of what is to the left of you whenever you are going into any type of trade. Just be aware. If you're clear, again, always still be aware. But if you got something that's clear close by, be aware of that. And I'll show you guys an example because I did write down a few as well. 935, and this is good because this is a good trending day right here. Really good trending day. 935, boom. So boom, let's check this. So we have, again, a breaker structure. Let's clear this out the way real quick. My small breaker structure. And this strategy, I will say this, guys, is really good for those trending days. Like when you have a trending day, this strategy for your one candle breaks is almost unstoppable. As a matter of fact, we'll go through a few right here. So we got clear bullish momentum and we see where price pull back, right? So for me, I'm going to consider this as a breaker structure. And even then, when I do this, I like to call this strategy more so a stepping stone, more so than breaker supply and demand, because you're basically stepping over to get more to the top, right? So we get a breaker structure right here in between. And then once we get a breaker structure, we are going to mark this out. Now, again, only thing I want to do is to see it wick into the zone. Once it wicks into the zone, we get in for a 1-to-1 trade and boom. So wicked into the zone, which is right here. We would have got in here and wrote this out for a one. Sorry, y'all. Boom. We would have got in here, the break of this candle, and we'd have wrote this to a 1-to-1. We would have had our stop loss set at the bottom right here. And as you can see, price almost came back down and touched, but it didn't. And then we would have wrote this thing out for a 1-to-1 trade right here. And on 2 contracts, we would have won $625 because it's 6.25. So 2 contracts would have put you up almost $1,000. Not marking out the green candles, only the red candles because we are bullish. Okay, we are bullish. This is another one. I usually do not like for candles to hit in a zone multiple times because it kind of weakens the zone, but I'm more okay with it if it wicks into the zone. Okay, so again, price went up, came back down, it entered into my zone. We had the wick, so that's indicating a huge rejection. I would have waited to get in on the break of the candle, but we see this candle never broke. So now we get this candle. This candle also wicked into our zone as well. Okay, if the body closed, I would have said screw it, but then we also had that. So then we're just waiting for the break of this candle. And as you can see, we got that right here, break of the candle. Our stop loss is going to be set at the bottom of this candle right here. And we're going to measure that out for a 1-to-1. How do we know it's a 1-to-1? Because our ratio indicator tells us 1-to-1. And if we would have jumped into that trade, 8.50, and we had 2 contracts, we would have made $850. Another thing that would have gave me confirmation on that too, we are trending up with our VWAP. I'm sorry, we are trending up with our EMA, and we are above our VWAP as well. And if I look to the left of me, there is nothing clear in sight. So I would have been truly okay with holding this trade right here. Smooth criminal trade right here. Bada bing, bada boom. If you technically want to do it, I like for it to enter the zone, but let's just say you're feeling real froggy on this day, okay? Really froggy. You like, man, I'm finna make some money. Boom. We are going to take this one. We're going to take this right here, push it out to our zone. As you can see, this tapped into the zone. Personally, I like it to enter a little bit more, but let's just say that you decide to ride it out. Price came back into our zone, it touched it. We would have got in off the break of the candle right here. Bada bing, bada boom. We would have set our stop loss for a 1-to-1 trade. We are trending up. And how do I know it's a 1-to-1? Because my ratio told me so. So right there. All right. So we ride this one out again for a 1-to-1 because our ratio told us. And on this, for 2 contracts, we would have made $850. Now, for you guys wondering, do I have to use 2 contracts? No, you just cut this in half. You take $850 and you divide that by 2, and that's how much you would have made on just 1 contract. Or you take whatever this is, and you times it by 4, times it by 3, and that's how much. It all depends on the contracts that you use. Also, being aware, whenever I get into a trade, I'm always looking to the left. What is close by me that could potentially stop or turn this trade? That's something you always want to be aware of. I'm going to give you guys one more winner real quick, and then we'll go into some losers and potentially on why. Now, again, you can have something that's not in the way of these trades and still lose. Like, everybody in the market and everybody that's watching these videos needs to understand one massive thing. The market is probability, not guaranteed. And I'm so sick of seeing these traders that get on here and these dang on gurus that lie to y'all and say that you have a 90% win rate. You do not. You do not. I haven't lost a trade in forever. Yeah, because you're lying over your trades. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm very protective. You know, I love this world, and I hate when people lie because it gets your hopes up. Guys, y'all gonna lose trades, okay? 100% you're going to lose trades, but I'm going to show you guys again how to increase your probability when it comes down to a trade. That's all this is. Going back into it, we are in for a sale. Since we're in for a sale, we are only looking for the opposite color candle to mark out as a zone. So market is moving down. We just crossed under our VWAP. And then we also had a cross with our VWAP as well, or EMA. So we're going to mark this zone right here. Why? Because price broke this candle. It came back up, topped it, and then we get in for the break of the candle right here. And that tapped into the zone, which would have been this. Boom. And there we go. Sorry about that, guys. So it tapped into this zone. This particular candle tapped into the zone. And then we got in for the break of the candle, which was right here, the break of the candle. Once we entered in, we would wrote this out for a 1-to-1. How do I know this is a 1-to-1? Because my ratio indicator tells me so. As you can see, it says 11.50 on 2 contracts, meaning we would have made $1,100 in basically 5 minutes, like less than 10 minutes, basically, probably about 7-8 minutes. We would have made $1,100. Now let's go into some losers and potentially why. As you can see, when I did my notes on these, I tried to mark out certain things that would really stand out. You know, if price was near a zone, if it was near VWAP, potentially why it failed. So let's look at a few losers and see on some that I marked out. Let's see. Okay, so here we go. April 17th, 12:40. So we had a 1 candle break of structure right here. Boom. And of course, what happened? Price wicked into the zone. Now we would have got in off the break of that candle, and the break of the candle would have been right here at the very top. And as you can see, it wicked right above it. And if we set a 1-to-1, we would have had to ride this thing out here. So as you can see, what happened was price went up. It actually tapped above, which would have triggered our entry. Then it went all the way under, and it would have wicked us completely out of the trade. And then it went right back in a direction, actually hitting a 1-to-1 and more. Now, the thing about this particular trade that you want to be aware of is look at price. Look what price is doing. It's not really making a clear up or down. In fact, the reason why you know this is because the VWAP is right here and price is on the VWAP. This is a consolidation time, meaning you kind of want to walk away and stay away from the market until it gives you a clear understanding of what's happening. Even looking at the EMA, as you can see, it was going up right here, then it kind of went down, then it passed through. So price was just at a weird time. So if you did decide to take this particular trade, you don't know what exactly it's doing. It's not really breaking structure in both directions. So again, this is the time to stay out of the market because that's how you lose $500. Let's check out one more loser before we close it up. All right, so lastly, we got this one right here. So one thing you guys want to be aware is this: the market closes around this time as well. So do you want to be trading around this time? No. A lot of times the market will give that one last push, so it's okay to do it, but just make sure that setup is valid, okay? So let's just do VWAP alone. So we are above the VWAP right here, okay? Now again, remember, I want you guys to know this. I just started testing the EMA out. So I would have to basically go back to back test this with the VWAP and see how many trades I would technically win if I was following just that. But just focusing on this, we have price above the VWAP, and then we have price kind of under the EMA. That's where it kind of becomes dangerous because, as you can see, the market is going down. But let's check it out. So we get that one candle break. I'm looking for buys because my bias is telling me we are going up. Break a structure here, price went up, came back down, meaning I would have entered in on the break of the candle. Now, in reality, this would be perfect because we would be above the EMA. So that set our 1-to-1. We would have got in on the break of the candle, which would have been right here. Price would have triggered me in, and we would have wrote this out to a 1-to-1, which is right here. How do I know it's a 1-to-1? Because my ratio indicator tells me so. Boom. But as you can see, price never did do that. It went down. Now, a couple things that you need to do when it comes down to the market is just kind of common sense. One, we are above the VWAP, but the market isn't moving up, and it's not even trending up with the EMA. It's actually curving. As you can see that it's consolidating right here. It's not giving a clear direction. In fact, if you guys look at this, price went down, and we have an actual clear breaker structure right here. And what caused a breaker structure? This candle right here. So what becomes dangerous is what I told you guys at the very beginning, is you gotta be aware of supply and demand zones that are near. This right here is a clear, strong supply zone that's sitting here at the very top. Supply zone. All right, so we got our supply zone that is clearly right here on a 5-minute time frame. So the thing is, even though we are using our step ladder strategy, whatever you want to call it, when we actually have a strong breaker structure, you got to be aware of that. So even though I had my one candle break and then it wicked off the zone and we're going above, I got to be aware that I'm entering in on the supply zone. And what happened? I would have entered in on this trade. It tapped into my supply zone and it completely went down. Now, again, a lot of you guys may be asking, well, why didn't you just go in for a sell since it's trending down? Because that goes against our rules. Our rules are, if price is above the VWAP, we look for buys, and if price is below it, we look for sales. Now, if we take every single thing away, can you guys do it? You can. You just have to be aware of market structure and how everything moves. But again, whatever trade you guys get into, no matter what trade it is, when you have a zone that is completely untapped, be aware that there is a high chance that price is going to react off of it. And as you can see, price did reverse and you would have lost the trade. Wall Street Mania, that is all I have for you guys on this Sunday. So go back, watch this video multiple times if you are a struggling trader with a trade. My thing is, stick to one strategy, practice it over and over and over, back test it, write this stuff down. If you guys are looking for me to, or you want to kind of go off the paper that I use, you guys can. You guys can email me as well. My email is in the bio for YouTube as well. Or you guys can just comment and message me. I don't have a problem with sending you guys my sheet that I've done, but go study it. Love you guys, Wall Street Mania. Happy Sunday. God bless. Peace.